Conservation. Conservation is a way of using resources that keeps ecosystems healthy and intact for use by future generations. Although conservation formed the philosophy of today's resource managers, it wasn't always so. In the early days of our country, forests were so vast and animals so abundant that no one thought they would ever disappear. Thousands of acres of trees were logged, wagon loads of animals killed, and no one thought about how these wasteful actions would affect the future. When resources were used up, people just moved on to the next patch of wilderness. In 1905, President Theodore Roosevelt appointed Gifford Pinchot to serve as the first chief of the U.S. Forest Service. Roosevelt and Pinchot had observed the reckless abuse of America's soil, water, plants, and animals. They predicted that unless these resources were used wisely, America would fail to meet its future economic and ecological needs. After taking his Forest Service post, Pinchot put into practice the idea that forests could be used to produce timber, yet maintained for the benefit of future generations. He said the goal of conservation should be the use of natural resources for the greatest good of the greatest number for the longest time. Pinchot later founded Yale University's School of Forestry and served as a professor there. One of his students, a young man named Aldo Leopold, became a remarkable conservationist himself. After working for the Forest Service, Leopold was hired by the University of Wisconsin to teach courses in wildlife management. While there, he wrote a Sand County Almanac. In this book, he laid out what he called a land ethic. Ethics guides how people treat each other. Leopold expanded this definition to include how people should treat the land and its natural resources. While recognizing that people need to make a living from the land, Leopold argued that economic well-being depended upon healthy ecosystems. He wrote, "A land ethic cannot prevent the alteration, management, and use of resources, but it does affirm their right to be continued existence, and, at least in spots, their continued existence in a natural state." A Sand County Almanac was an instant success with resource managers and the general public alike, and has been credited with launching the modern conservation movement. Leopold said, "Conservation is a state of harmony between men and land. Because we all depend upon the Earth's ecosystems for food, water, clothing, and shelter, it's important to realize that maintaining the harmony between people and land is a responsibility for all of us. Learning about ecology is one way you can gain the knowledge to make wise decisions about how you use natural resources." This is a view of Earth taken by the Apollo 8 space mission in 1968 and shows how isolated our tiny blue planet is. Ecology helps us understand how to maintain the life support system of spaceship Earth. Understanding ecology is important for many reasons. Picture yourself cruising the galaxy in a spaceship. As you go about your day-to-day tasks, you barely notice the spaceship's life support system working in the background. It recycles air you exhale, so you always have oxygen to breathe. It cleans water you excrete, so you always have enough to drink. Shields protect you from the radiation of stars. Heating and cooling systems maintain a perfect 24 degrees Celsius climate. You even have a small garden that provides enough food for you to eat. If you were on such a spaceship, you'd want to know how every part of this life support system worked. That way, if some part of the spaceship broke, you could fix it. Your life would depend on this knowledge. Now picture the Earth from space. Our planet isn't so different from a spaceship. On Earth, ecological systems provide a life support function performed by the machines of our imaginary spaceship. On Earth, plants take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen, while animals take in oxygen and release carbon dioxide. Each is an important component of the other's life support system. On Earth, rainfall moves from rivers to oceans to the atmosphere and through organisms in a global water cycle, being cleaned and filtered along the way. The ozone layer protects us from the sun's radiation, and greenhouse gases trap heat to protect us from extreme temperature fluctuations. In addition to life support services, ecological systems provide us with an infinite number of products. You probably recognize that food, whether it's a carrot or a Twinkie, comes from nature. Every product, lumber to build your house, gasoline to fuel your car, fibers to form your clothes, comes from nature too. Even products you wouldn't think of as being natural, such as your MP3 player or cell phone, come from nature. Although the metals, plastics, and other materials that form these products may have been created in a laboratory, the raw materials come from the earth. If the earth's life support system break down, we need to know how to fix them. Our life support depends on it. That's why understanding ecology is important. Ecology gives us a way to learn how these systems work, recognize when they are failing, and provide ideas for fixing problems.